thinking that's the group, the Nation of Islam.
Nation of Islam, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We're on now, we're rolling.
My name is Jahangir. Today is the 9th of September 2018. And I've come from Bolton with a group who've come from Blackburn, Pbuh, Yusuf, Muhammad Ali, etc. And wanted to do something on famous non-Muslims of the past and their perspective on the Prophet Muhammad is. And I'm just going to read some things, some quotes, and then after each quote I'll just give you the name of the person so that you know who's who, whether they're reputable or respectable, people or people of intellect. Starting with this first one. I've studied him, the Prophet Muhammad, the wonderful man, and in my opinion, far from being an antichrist, he must be called the saviour of humanity. I believe that if a man like him were to assume the dictatorship of the modern world, he would succeed in solving his problems in a way that would bring it much needed peace and happiness. And this is George Bernard Shaw in his book The Genuine Islam. George Bernard Shaw is a prominent writer of the 19th century. The next one is, I hope the time is not far off when I shall be able to unite all the wise and educated men of all the countries and establish a uniform regime based on the principles of Quran, which alone are true and which alone can lead men to happiness. Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay? Very famous French leader. I don't know all of them, but I mean, with anyone I do know, I will mention. I'll give you their names anyway. This next one I have not heard of, but I will give you his quote anyway. If ever any man had the right to say that he ruled by divine right, it was Muhammad. For he had all the power without instruments and without its support. He cared not for dressing of power. The simplicity of his private life was in keeping with his public life. And this was the Reverend R. Bosworth Smith, who wrote a book, I think, called Muhammad and Mohammedanism. And as far as Muslims are concerned, there is no such thing as Mohammedanism. It's the word that is common in the 19th century for people who are Muslims and people of Islam. Islam does not go by the name of a prophet, it goes by the name of the functionality of what Islam is. Because Islam means submission to the will of Allah. So a person who is a Muslim is submitting to the will of Allah. This is what Islam is, and it's very pure in its actual meaning. Anyway, so that aside, this is very interesting. This is. Let me read the quote first of all, and then I'll tell you who it's by. And it's a very famous book. My choice of Muhammad to lead the list of the world's most influential persons may surprise some readers and may be questioned by others. But he was the only man in history who was supremely successful on both the religious and secular level. And this is written by many of you, some of you may not know it, but it's Michael H. Hart, The 100, a ranking of the most influential persons in history. And Michael H. Hart was Jewish in his ancestry, but he was an atheist. So he had, if he had an axe to grind, you would have thought it was him, but he was very fair in his writings. There is so I'm going to maybe quote maybe 2-3 more. The next one is it starts off like this: philosopher, orator, apostle, legislator, warrior, conqueror of ideas, restorer of rational dogmas, of a cult without images, the founder of 20 terrestrial empires and 1 spiritual empire. That is Muhammad. As regards all standards by which human greatness may be measured, we may well ask, is there any man greater than he? Lamartine, Histoire de la Turquie, Paris.
History of the Turks.
History of Paris, yeah. This is by a Hindu writer So we're getting all breadths of people, of different types of people who are commenting and who are in their decision making are rational and are fair and are judging the Muhammad with that in mind. So this next one, he says, the personality of Muhammad, it is most difficult to get into the whole truth of it. There is Muhammad the Prophet, there is Muhammad the warrior, Muhammad the businessman, Muhammad the statesman, Muhammad the orator, Muhammad the reformer, Muhammad the refuge of orphans, Muhammad the protector of slaves, Muhammad the emancipator of women, Muhammad the judge, Muhammad the saint. This is an author called K.S. Ramakrishna Rao, professor of philosophy. Muhammad the Prophet, in his book is he's a professor of philosophy and his book is Muhammad the Prophet of Islam. Next, and I think I'll do a couple more because it's very interesting as well. Very, very famous person. And he says, I wanted to know the best of one who holds today undisputed sway over the hearts of millions of mankind. Now billions, over 2 billion. I became more than convinced that it was not the sword that won a place for Islam in those days in the scheme of life. It was the rigid simplicity, the utter self-effacement of the Prophet, the scrupulous regard for his pledges, his intense devotion to his friends and followers, his intrepidity. Sorry for that. His fearlessness, his absolute trust in God, and his own mission.
Go back to that again.
So I'll go back to that.
Yeah, just that one. So.
Intrepidity.
What is it?
Like intrepid. It's the word intrepid, but it's a bit of a mouthful. Intrepidity. Intrepidity.
It is a mouthful.
Intrepidity. I'll just say intrepidity. Shall I do it again? I'll read it again.
That one again. Yeah,
I'll read that one again.
Paragraph.
So next, very famous person, and he starts off like this. I want to know the best of one who holds today the undisputed sway of the hearts of millions of mankind. Now bear in mind right now, this was written back in the 30s and 40s, but right now there are over 2 billion Muslims. So our Prophet Muhammad holds sway over billions of people. Okay? I became more than convinced that it was not the sword that won the place for Islam in those days in the scheme of life. It was the rigid simplicity, the utter self-effacement of the Prophet, the scrupulous regard for his pledges, his intense devotion to his friends and followers, his intrepidity, his fearlessness, his absolute trust in God and his own mission. Guess who? Mahatma Gandhi. Next, another famous author, very, very famous author. And I'll tell you his book. I'll tell you his book as well at the end. Very, very famous book. The Islamic teachings have left great traditions for equitable and gentle dealings and behavior, and inspire people with nobility and tolerance. These are human teachings of the highest order, and at the same time practicable. These teachings brought into existence a society in which hard-heartedness and collective oppression and injustice were the least as compared with all other societies preceding it. Islam is replete with gentleness, courtesy and fraternity. H.G. Wells, the writer of War of the Worlds. Back in the early 1900s he wrote War of the Worlds. So you can see what kind of people of what kind of stature are actually writing about the Prophet Muhammad. Last and finally, again, this time you may not know this person, but I don't know him that well either, but somebody you can look up, obviously. The lies. Oh, this is how he starts out. The lies. He's talking about Western slander, which well-meaning zeal has heaped around this man, are disgraceful to ourselves only. A silent, great soul, one of that who cannot but be earnest. He was to kindle the world's maker had ordered so. This is Thomas Carlyle. What beautiful words. It shows you, even in that time, these are people who are from the 18th and 19th centuries. Even from that time, there were people who were piling great slander upon the Prophet Muhammad, but these people, well, like beacons in their time, and they sifted through all the slander and rubbish that was said about the Prophet Muhammad and just read the bare facts to reveal the personality to themselves, at least, the Prophet Muhammad as we know him today. Okay, thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.